Welcome to the Cherrywood podcast with me, the lovely Rachel Burridge.
That's my name. I thought you were going to do it normally. And Simon Burridge.
That's the one thing I've got a duck for. Conor Slatter, mortgage advisor, WPP Financial Services. Action.
You've got to put it right at the back. I don't know why we teach you the technique. You only come on the show once or twice. There it is.
Taxi.
I'm not getting out of this chair, do you know that? There we go. Christ.
That's really boosted.
His little legs down.
It's the first time anyone's ever looked up to me. Jeez.
Are you staying in it?
You don't have
No,
to.
I'm not going to. No.
Not for 2 hours. Not for 2 hours.
Jesus.
Oh, bless you. Oh, little Connor. Sorry.
Did you buy it special? I feel quite
No, I
honoured.
just
Ted.
took it out of my car. There we go. Oh, sorry, mate.
You're all right.
I've been thinking about doing that. I told Tony, what's his name? Gibbons. He's going to love me for that.
Tony, what's his name?
He's going to love me
Other
for
Tonys are available.
that. Yeah, I told Tony Gibbons I was going to do that. You ass.
Is this your friend that isn't a friend that is a friend?
Yeah, that's it, yeah.
When's he coming on the show? Yeah, good.
I don't know when he's coming on the show. Got to talk him into something.
Nah, fair enough. But yeah, no, I'm all good, thank you.
Yeah,
very
so
much.
Conor Slatter and your company is WPP.
Yes, it. Financial
That's scary.
Services.
Before we start, how long?
I was thinking about this on the way down here.
You've seen I put
Take
3
it.
bits of tape on it.
12 minutes, 21 seconds.
Hmm.
From now.
What have you done? You've watched every episode and come up with an average.
Probably.
Well, you
I'm not that
play about
special.
with numbers, didn't you?
I do, but someone's phone's on.
Okay, yeah, thanks, mate. Right, we're going to go, while I sort my phone out, we're going to go to sponsors and then we'll be right back.
Today's sponsors are
DiGiorgio Properties, your premier choice for expert building solutions. From concept to completion, trust them to turn your dreams into a reality.
Visit their website today at digiorgiosproperties.com.
De Medici Associates, chartered, structural and civil engineers.
Based in the UK with a worldwide reach.
Visit their website on demediciassociates.com.
And we're back. Connor, how are you, mate?
Yeah, all good, thank you very much. Bit nervous.
Why are you
Being on a
nervous?
podcast.
It's only me. It's not as if I'll wind you up, is it?
I've already sat in a child's chair, and the fact that you've got how many subscribers now?
Yeah, but they're all fake. No, they're not. 50. What are we on? 53,000 today, I think.
Yeah.
I'm hoping we'll be past 100,000 in June.
Well, to all 10 million of you, good morning. Looking forward to it.
So
But no,
nothing,
it's,
nothing to worry about.
it's not
mate.
you two I'm worried about, it's everyone else.
Everyone at what? Slating you off? Sorry. I didn't even do that on purpose.
Yeah.
And it's on the slate as well.
That's
yeah.
it. Something like that.
Okay, so tell us about your company.
So we are an independent mortgage practice. We're based at the Innovation Centre by Rochester Airport, and essentially we deal with anything to do with your mortgage. So whether that be your first ever mortgage, getting on a housing ladder for the first time, all the way through to what might be your last ever mortgage, and anything kind of in between. So yeah, we'll look after anything residential, buy-to-lets, and then we'll also look at protecting that mortgage with life insurance and that kind of stuff as well.
Brilliant. Thanks for coming on the show, Connor.
I'll see you later. Thank you very much.
So what got you into mortgages then, mate? Because you're only little anyway, and you're only young.
Yeah, I know. I'm only 12.
He's our mortgage advisor, by the way.
How far do you want me to go back? So
Oh,
kind of
Birth.
Well, you must
birth.
have-
So I was born on 24th of July 93.
Oh, God. You're giving everyone your credit card
93.
details.
That's
Oh my
it.
God, 93. Oh,
93, I know.
And
I
then
know.
3 years later,
He's 1 year out of my eldest. Oh.
there you go. But no, it kind of started my A-levels really. So
Sorry, what date in 93?
24th of July.
Oh, right. Okay, it doesn't matter to me. It means nothing to me. Go on, carry on.
So yeah, when I went to finish with GCSEs, went to do my A-levels, and there was a new course that come out for financial studies.
Mm.
And that's kind of where it started from. So I happened to have a knack for it. I was quite good at it. Kind of went by the wayside a little bit. So during my A-levels, I went and worked at B&Q for 4.5, nearly 5 years.
Right.
And then
Did you ever get to the top shelf? Or?
I had machines for that. Got to the top shelf once. It was scary up there, so I had to come back down.
So you
got
dealt with all the plugs and the.
That's it. All the bits on the bottom shelf. That was my area of expertise.
Sorry, mate.
But
I'm
then
just trying to fill it up with comedy. Sorry.
you're fine.
Oh, you're so horrible.
I don't think we'll have a problem with that. But yeah, so when worked for B&Q, and I thought, why don't I go and do something I thought I'd be good at rather than trying to get to the top shelf? So then a job come up at Nationwide in Raynham.
Right. Yep.
End up getting that. Was there as basically the till assistant for about 6 months. Then got promoted to personal banker, and it was around about that time that me and my partner Katie was like, we want to look at buying our first house. Didn't think it was possible for a little while, but things happened, and one of my good friends was a mortgage advisor at Nationwide, kind of made it work. I was like, well, if you can do that, why can't I do that for people? So I went and got myself qualified after that. Took about 6 to 8 months or so.
Mm-hmm.
And then basically waited around for a job to come up with Nationwide, and it didn't.
All right.
So I got to the point of, waiting around. He's like, a bit ambitious. So I was like, a friend of a friend had their mortgage done through WPP, and the owner, Michael, did it for him.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, one thing come to another, an interview, we got off like a house on fire, and I'm here 4.5 years later. I don't make it to 5 years anywhere, so I think this is going to be the first one.
Right,
but that's kind of how that happened. So,
jinx that, ain't you?
Oh no.
well, I've got until January, but I'm not going anywhere anytime soon.
Okay, fair. What was I going to say? What does WPP stand for? Oh, he doesn't know himself.
Isn't it written on his?
No, there's
No, that says Gap Kids.
My first size. But
extra small.
there's a lot of debate. To be honest with you, it's just the owner, Michael, he just likes the way it sounds.
Really?
Likes the way it rolls off the tongue. I think it did mean something back
It's
then,
got
but that's
to mean
kind of
something.
changed.
How funny is that?
Yeah, no, it
Just
did
likes
at
the way
some
it
point,
sounds.
but I think it's changed. So he just likes the way it sounds, and push comes to shove, there you go.
No.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
So what? Obviously, there are different types of mortgages.
Mhm.
What sort of types are there? Because I have. I mean, I
You have how many?
know nothing about mortgages. So
Like she deals with the mortgage.
Yeah,
I
that's
just,
it.
I just pay and then
You had the file.
Yeah, exactly.
excuse me, who gave him the information first? He was still waiting on your stuff.
Well, that's typical.
Yeah.
Now, children. Yeah, before we get going, just bear in mind that if you don't keep up repayments on your mortgage, your home may be repossessed. But yeah, there's all sorts. So you've got your residential mortgages, which will be for anything you live in.
Mm-hmm.
So as I said, that'll be your first home, moving on to wherever that might be. And then you've got your investment type mortgages, which will be your buy-to-let side of things.
You're right.
Excuse me. No.
Getting emotional.
Mouth dry, yeah. I think I might have a tear.
He just enjoys his work so much.
Yeah, we'll go with that.
We're in proper piss take mode today, Connor. Sorry, we're usually serious with other people, but because we know you, we just like to abuse you in more ways
I
than one.
didn't notice, but yeah, your buy-to-let mortgage will be your investment side of things. So buying a property specifically to rent it to someone else.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And they're the two main kind of mortgages that we deal with. My specialism in WPP is buy-to-lets and limited companies, HMOs.
Mm-hmm.
So that is, as I said, when you look at buying a property to rent or buy a property to convert into multiple rooms to rent out.
Yep.
Yeah,
That's what I specialise
HMO is, isn't it? What's the HMO stand
House and
for?
multiple occupation.
Yeah, right, okay.
And then they're the kind of bits where my remit stops. There are other bits that we can do on referral as well, but generally speaking, within them too.
So with things like HMO, I imagine the interest rate's a lot higher, is it?
Potentially.
Or the deposit's a lot greater? Or...
Yeah, I mean, traditionally with anything buy-to-let based, you're looking at 25% deposit.
Mm.
Residential can start from, there's all sorts of bits out there now. Potentially nothing, depending on
Yeah, you was talking
certain
about this recently.
circumstances. Potentially as low as $5,000 in other circumstances,
Yeah.
but the general mainstream mortgages for the one you want to buy starts at 5%.
Mm. Did you want to talk about certain mortgages, or do you not want to really go there in case it dates this podcast? Because you were talking about ones with no deposit recently, weren't you? Or $5,000 deposit.
Can do. Yeah,
It's up
so
to you.
yeah, so
It's
in
good
terms
for
of the
good for the first time
specialist,
buyer. Sorry to jump in now. It's good for the first time buyers. Maybe.
yeah, absolutely. So in terms of your first time mortgages, so there's two products that have come out in the past. One come out literally a couple of months ago. One's been around about a year now. The first one is what Skipton Building Society offer. which they call it's like a rental based one.
Okay.
So if you're a first time buyer and you rent a property, basically your mortgage payment can match or be lower than what you're paying in rent, and they'll lend to you based on that. And they don't. I can't speak.
Well, I've always.
Can I have a glass of water?
Sorry, I'm touching you. Of course, you can have a glass of water. Now, right, we cut that on purpose because Conor needed a water, bless him.
Yeah.
Right, he might drown in that. No, I won't go with that bit. I'll put my hand up again. Right. So the question was,
it was about support for first time buyers.
Okay, yeah.
So yeah, there's 2 mortgages that have come out in the past. One of them was in the past couple of months. One of them was about a year ago. The first one is one that skips in building society offer, which is based on purely what you're paying for your rental at the moment.
Mm-hmm.
So the way it works is your mortgage payment can't be more than the rent you've been paying for the past 6 months, and the loan is dictated from that.
I think that's a great idea because the argument has always been, even when I bought my first house, is you pay more money for rent than you do a bleeding mortgage. So why don't you just get a mortgage, but you can't because you haven't got the deposit?
Of course. So in theory, it's a great, once interest rates drop, touch wood they do, it will open up more opportunities for people. Because at the moment, as you can imagine, with the risk they're pricing it at, you have no deposit.
Yeah.
So it's got a relatively high interest rate, which means your loan is squeezed because of how much your rent is.
Literally paying interest, aren't you?
Exactly. So if it comes to it and interest rates drop, it will be better for people down in the southeast. It's more beneficial for people in the north at the moment, where their rental is probably around the same as what we're paying now, but the house prices are lower.
Right. Okay. So just to clarify, it hasn't got to be the house they rent and their landlords decided to put it up for sale. It's
they
just
can buy
like
any second-hand.
It's like an equivalent, isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah, equivalent of what they've been able to afford for. Do they have to prove that they've been paying that rent for a few years?
6 months, I believe it is.
Right. So they know that it can stably pay that rent. Yeah. It's a good idea.
Yeah.
Very good idea.
Yeah. So that's the rental one. As I said, it's largely dictated by what rent you're paying at the moment. The other one, which come up via Accord mortgages, kind of come out of absolutely nowhere. And that is you can buy anywhere up to 500 grand with a £5,000 deposit.
Right.
Simple as that, really. So yeah, that's how that works. But of course, because it's high risk, enhanced credit scores, higher rates, that kind of thing.
So obviously you have to do credit scores on, or credit checks on absolutely everyone that comes in for a mortgage.
Absolutely.
So if someone was having, how would you advise them to improve their credit score then? If someone came up to you and said, I've got a bit of a crappy old credit score, how can I actually improve that to get a better mortgage? I'm assuming.
I mean, in terms of the score, it's a bit of a red herring almost. The score isn't everything. It's what fuels that score that's more important. So it could be a case that you've got 2 people who've got, I could pick any number, 400 scores, let's say. One of them's an 18-year-old, never had credit before. They're going to have a low score because they've had no credit. Yeah. You've got someone who's got a 400 score, they're 40 years old, but they've got a history of defaults and CCJs and that kind of thing. 2 different stories. But if you look at the number, it's the same. Yeah. That's where I get the credit reports and go into it and find the detail. Yeah. So but in terms of actually improving it, just keep doing the right things. Make sure you're paying things on time. If you do have any defaults, CCJs, that kind of thing, time is a good healer. They do drop off your credit report after 6 years. Okay. So generally that might help. But if they're unsatisfied, satisfying them will help. All these kind of things, basically just putting you in a more credit-worthy position, would be a much better way of doing things.
My other question is about the comparison to the rent payment. Do they have to have that mortgage for a certain amount of time? Because it's just a good way of jumping you on the ladder, and then you can get a better mortgage later, can't you?
Of course. So they stipulate you have to have a 5-year fix, so you can't do anything until the end of that 5 years. But yeah, once that's finished, you're potentially free.
It's all based on then the equity and the deposit based on the equity.
Yeah. What you would hope is that between them making their mortgage payments, which will reduce their mortgage, and the property price going up
in 5 years,
that'll create a bit of a gap for them to move to
a
5% mortgage.
Yeah.
Okay. So what about these properties that you have part buy, part rent?
Shared ownership?
Yeah. How does that work with the mortgage then?
So very similar to how a normal residential mortgage works, really. Okay. But basically what you need to do is just factor in the costs of running the shared ownership. Okay. So unlike where you buy a normal house per se, you've got the rent to pay to the housing association that are giving you the share, plus any service charges. But once you factor that in, absolutely fine. And even then, that's another option of having a 0% deposit. I can't speak English though. Can we redo that one?
No, you're doing fine. You're doing fine. It was understandable, honestly. It's fine.
I've got you can hear me.
I can hear everything. I can hear everything.
I'll drink you out of house and home.
The thing is, you were clear on all of them.
Maybe it's in my own head then.
It's in your head, yeah.
But yeah, shared ownership, smaller mortgages, so potentially open to more people, does tend to have more stringent credit checks. You need to be better, for lack of a better word.
Yeah, okay.
But yeah, absolutely fine.
So what about like climate factors and economic factors? You must see those come in and know the mortgage rate's going to go down, the mortgage rate's going to go up.
Can you go a bit deeper into what you mean by climate factors and economic factors, Rachel?
Well, things that the government do, and they change things, and then they bring out new policies and stuff like that. And just, for example, the war in Ukraine and stuff like that. That must have effect on the mortgage prices and everything like that,
It's
right?
effect on interest rate.
Absolutely.
Well,
yeah, without a shadow of a
it
doubt.
must affect the whole mortgage. Yeah.
Yeah.
Shut up.
I'm just waiting to get her another t-shirt. That's all.
I know what you meant, and yeah, it does. I always say to people that mortgage market's very fickle at the moment. It takes one bit of good news for rates to start potentially creeping down, one bit of bad news for it to be wiped out again.
And that
really
would go
does.
sky high
And
if we had a bit of bad news.
In your
Would it go
opinion,
sky
is it
high?
like the fuel prices where it shoots up and then gradually comes down?
Potentially. It depends on what the news is, how serious it is, anything like that. But yeah, it's as soon as a bit of news, one way or the other, comes through, it really does change what pricing looks like.
Are you quite a big follower of the news then for that reason, to sort of gauge almost what's going to happen or not?
Not necessarily the news per se, but I do follow what's called swap rates, which price fixed rate mortgages.
Okay.
I follow them religiously.
Right.
So I know when they're starting to increase, that will be passed on at some point.
Okay.
Is that when you give us weekly tips in our... Yeah.
That's how I know that what's going on. Fine. So with what's happened last week with the escalation sort of in the Middle East, that's had an effect on mortgage rates. I was off last week and it was all kind of kicking off around me. But that's where my advice would be is if you're going for a mortgage, do it as soon as possible.
Right. Okay.
So I work on I call it a 6-month rule. Everyone in the practice kind of calls it a 6-month rule, to be fair. The idea being is as soon as you can, this is for remortgages, I should say, actually. So if you've got a mortgage that's coming to an end.
You can talk about ours if you want, not in too much detail, obviously, but you can talk about ours being due in July, wasn't it?
Yeah, so yours finishes in July, so the new rate should take effect from August.
Right, yep.
So if you work 6 months back from August 1st, you're looking at
February.
The 1st of Feb. That'll be the earliest we can do something.
Yeah, so we spoke to you in Feb.
Yes.
You gave us a rate.
And it's gone up slightly since.
Has the rate gone up?
Well, yours hasn't.
No,
because we locked it in.
That's good.
But that's the idea, is the 6-month rule. If we lock in a rate from essentially day one, then that means that the rates can't get worse. If they get better, we change it.
Yeah, that's what I like about it.
Yeah.
So
and if they get worse, it can't be a worse position for you, essentially.
So whatever you've agreed, so you get a mortgage with Conor, whatever you've agreed won't go above that. We got a fixed rate for 5, didn't we? 5 years, I think.
Yes,
I think so.
Yeah.
And so I don't know what the percentage is because I don't take much notice of it.
You pay what you're told you're going to pay.
Basically.
Yes,
But if the rate does go down in that 6 months, Conor will then change it and it'll get better. So that's good.
Yeah, that's it. So the key thing is the cost of living crisis is rife for everyone. It affects everyone. It doesn't matter. Mortgages are a big part of that. Where the rates have gone up, if people bought during COVID, for instance, they're coming off their 2%, 1% rates, going on to something with a 4 in front of it. It's limiting that damage.
Yeah. Oh, well, we know people. We know many people that are struggling and having to downgrade and stuff because of that change.
Of course.
So because you must have literally just started in your company when COVID hit.
Yeah. I time everything nicely. So that was fun. So yeah, I left Nationwide. I think I officially joined WPP in end of January, I think beginning of February, somewhere around that mark of 2020. For anyone that can remember that year, that was a fun one.
So then March kicked in and boom, COVID.
I think it was a bit... Did COVID come in February?
I think it was abroad. I think we locked down on something
December,
like the
wasn't it? November, December.
Oh, abroad, yeah. But
Abroad,
then,
it was November,
yeah,
December.
Yeah, but
But
when we
then
shot
with
the Tab
us-
Theory, we were shooting that.
No, that was the year after.
Oh, right. Okay.
COVID actually hit our country something like the 23rd of March. We went into lockdown on the 23rd of March, 2020.
Oh, right, okay.
I'm not going to argue with that. I'm going to use the 23rd of March as an example.
I
So,
have no memory to argue with it.
so I remember it vividly because it was
Just-
quite funny, to be fair. It was a funny story. So went and got trained up, and it must have been my first day, or maybe one of my first days in the office as a competent advisor was, did you say 23rd of March?
Yeah.
Must have been the 23rd of March. So I turned up to the office, made myself a coffee, sat down, opened laptop, started doing some work. It got to about 10 o'clock, and I was like, where is everyone? Like, honestly, like, is everyone in an appointment at the same time? It was like a Tuesday or something like that, Tuesday morning.
Had you broken lockdown rules straight away?
I think I might have done. So yeah, I did a Teams call to Michael, and I was like, where is everyone? And I remember him saying this clear as day. He's like, do you not watch the news? I was like, no, not really. And he was like, oh, we're in lockdown, you should go home. I was like, all right then. And that was that. So
Did it affect you on a personal sort of work level, or was you getting a monthly income? You don't have to answer this.
So
Did it affect you and your business?
it did. I mean, before I left Nationwide, I'd always been employed positions where if I was in the branch network as a personal banker, Nationwide leads are provided for you. Obviously, B&Q people are there or thereabouts. So you don't necessarily have to go out and find your customer kind of thing. But obviously, leaving that, going self-employed for the first time, I was terrified as it was to begin with.
Yes, of course, yeah.
Because we had a mortgage, didn't have any kids then, but it was like, let's do it, because if it doesn't happen now, it never will. And yeah, recently self-employed, lockdown happens. I was like, how do I do mortgages for people now? Because I can't go out and meet people and all this kind of thing. And yeah, it was a bit terrifying, to be fair. Thankfully, it all worked out well in the end.
How'd you get through it, Con?
A lot of support from the business.
Right.
Obviously, living in the real world while we're all self-employed, we're all a big team, so there's support there. So I worked more with Michael than on my own bits and pieces for a good while, actually, which was really successful for both of us. And then when the time was right, went self-employed, and here I am.
Perfect.
And then things like, I mean, thinking back at it now, like I left Nationwide, I didn't really think, because I thought loads of people would follow me because I tell people what you do. Or what you're going to go do. I thought people would come and find me. It didn't really happen that way.
Oh, right, okay.
Because in Nationwide, I was meeting 4 or 5 people a day.
Right.
But yeah, it never happened that way. Never actually happened at all. And I was like,
so you mean existing customers? Existing people you've advised?
Yeah. So I was sitting there, I was like, how do you generate a client bank? It's funny looking back at it now, it was scary back then. But that's where things like BNI come up from.
And this, Con, you can give someone a mortgage all over the country, all over the world, possibly.
Not well.
As soon as I said it,
possibly.
Not well.
As soon as I said it, I thought I better throw a possibly in there.
Yeah, to a degree, but yeah, generally UK based.
Yeah. Yeah. So not generally UK based sometimes.
I could do expat mortgages, expatriates, so UK nationals living abroad.
Ah, right.
But they're buying a UK property.
Yeah, I understand what you mean. Okay, brilliant. Excellent. Right, now let's find out about the real Connor.
Oh dear. Is this where I'm going to curl up in a corner and cry for a little bit?
Mortgages aside.
We'll come back to mortgages. We'll give everyone your details because they clearly want to speak to you about a mortgage. And I can't recommend you enough because you really did look after us.
You did.
Thank you.
And the mortgage hadn't even started yet. So I might.
No, we've got a good couple of months. We done it so early. It's a long way away.
But I've known Connor for 4 years, and I told him when roughly 3 years. Yeah, we say 4. It sounds better. And I told him about my mortgage the first month of knowing you, didn't I?
Yeah.
And he remembered the renewal time better than I did.
Because I think we literally got it in 19 before lockdown. So
said,
we were celebrating after
and
that.
he's like, well, you've got to speak to me in 2024, start of 2024.
I don't think it was necessarily the date, but it was I knew who your lender was. Because you told me it's HSBC once, I just remember that.
And then we didn't talk about it for like a year and a half. And he went, is my mortgage due? I've got to see you about a mortgage, because I even forgot about having the chat with him originally. He went, yes, your lender's this, and it's due in this. I'm like, Jesus.
I
He's the type of person you need in your life.
Oh, I do. So you're
I'm not
out
being
the
your
window,
PA,
age,
if that's
and
what you
I'm
get.
marrying Connor.
He's your new
That's
PA.
spicy, isn't it?
There we go. You heard it first here.
What are you into, Con? No, I shouldn't really ask what you're into after saying I'm going to marry Connor.
You, apparently.
Well, you're only human.
Yeah, that's it.
So we know you like cars.
Yeah.
He's got a new
I want that
car.
one. I've got a new car.
How is it?
Good. It's my other half hates it.
Oh,
Does she?
no, why?
Yeah. Well, because it's a stupid car. For anyone that
Not for
of
the
course
kids.
there's 50,000 you don't know. I bought myself my dream car from when I was about 12. Nissan 350Z. For anyone that knew me when I was in school, that was generally like,
It's sexy
go-to
cars.
car.
They are.
yeah, I mean, like some people would be like, I want the Ferrari Lamborghini. That was my thing.
Mm.
Then an opportunity come up about 2 months ago. For a really good example, so once again, sorry, Katie, you was meant to buy a car first, but I went and bought it for myself, and yeah, she doesn't like it very much. It's very
Well, it's not good for
stiff.
having a kid. Either,
No,
is it?
well, she
It's
can't
only
go
got
in
2 seats, isn't it? Yeah.
She actually can't go in it for a few years, so
Mm.
which is a good thing actually, because when she's sitting in the back of our family car, she's like faster, faster. I was like, yeah.
Yeah.
So it's probably a good thing she can't go in it because someone will end up getting hurt. But no, and enjoying it. It's didn't think I'd own one. I wasn't keeping an eye on it all the time to see what was coming up. This one just happened to be local, a really good example, so went for it. And now it annoys all the neighbours.
Mm. Yeah.
And you really want it.
I do want it. Yeah.
But I mean, you know what it's like. We've got 2 MR2s, and Ted loves going in them. doesn't
Oh, he
He's like,
does,
oh,
yeah.
Dad, don't sell them. Don't sell them.
Yeah, MR2 for me was the same as it was
Yeah.
for you. I don't know why, you know, they say poor man's Ferrari and stuff. And I've had one before 15, 20 years ago and just loved it, but I had to give it away because
Yeah.
I was getting divorced and stuff. And it's really hard to pick your kids up in an MR2.
I have to share seats.
So
like this.
I had to get rid of it. And then ended up with 2 just by mistake. I was trying to get one from work.
You bought one, didn't
I
you? You
contacted
saw
a guy
one.
for 3 months, a guy that retired, and he had left his MR2 in the work car park for 3 years. Like, I've got to have that car.
No,
Yeah.
no. Beforehand, you'd already bought the white
Yeah,
one.
yeah, but you're ruining the story,
Oh,
if I'm honest. Yeah, thanks, babe. Yeah. So, as Rachel mentions,
He's already got one.
after trying to contact this guy and him never getting back, I bought one.
Right, there we go.
I bought one. And then 3 days after buying it, this bloke gets back to me. I was like, and he offered me such a ridiculous price. Ridiculous price. Literally scrapped price. And this car was as rare as anything. It's like 250 made because it was 10th anniversary.
Bearing in mind, we had 2 cars already because obviously I needed one for work.
She wasn't happy, Con.
He had one for work.
You
so
have to
he
have a
said,
sensible car,
yeah,
did you?
he said, I've got to get this. I went, okay, then that's absolutely fine. And then I remember sitting in, I think it was Nando's or something like that, having
Yes.
lunch with you, and your phone went and went, I've just got to get this. So that's fine. I'm sitting there eating my chicken, and you went, oh, right.
I'll give you
Okay.
this for it.
How much? Okay. Yep, this price. Deal. And I looked at him and went, he went, car. I was like, what the hell? And so we ended up with 4 cars in the space of about 4
Yeah.
days.
We're quite lucky because the footprint of our drive is bigger than the footprint of our house.
Yeah,
So,
that's it. You just got to get. You live in a garage and you just look at the cars. Yeah.
The cars have the house, we have the garage.
so I'm maintaining these 2 bleeding MR2s, and a part of me sort of thinks, nah, it's enough now, get rid of them. But then the boy starts weeping, doesn't he? Don't get rid of them, Dad. Don't get rid of them. And I don't know why he likes them, because as soon as he sits his arse in them, he falls asleep
On that booster
Maybe that's
seat.
why.
in that booster seat. Yeah, so
Are they 2-seaters as well, MRTs?
eh?
Are they
Yeah,
2-seaters as well?
yeah, 2-seaters. Yeah,
So we have to have
2
So if
seaters.
we go out, all 4 of us, then we
Have
have
to
to
take
have
2
2 each.
MRTs.
Mine are 2-seaters, no airbag, so it might as well be a
nice.
go-kart.
Fair enough. But it's funny how these stories come about because, like, literally a day before, because I think I come and saw you guys the day I was going to go view the Nissan.
That's
Yeah,
right, he did.
you did.
Yes, yeah.
The day before that, just on the off chance, we had a window salesman around trying to sell us the windows, and we went on board with that actually. And it was only because literally as soon as he went, I just looked at Auto Trader for a laugh, and he was there. I was like, "We're not getting windows anymore."
Oh, so you blew the windows out?
Yeah.
Do you know I've had 8 houses? I've never bought a set of windows for them. Never.
Touch wood, you know, so
Well,
what happened to him now?
No, I will be touching wood because if they break, I'll just be covering them with wood.
Lovely.
Nice.
No,
That's gonna be a bit
I don't know
drafty, isn't
why. I don't know why. I've never had to. Well,
Well, no,
I probably
you-
need to, but I've never actually. I thought, nah, still glass in them. They'll be fine.
Yeah.
apart from the one you tried at our old house.
What did I do?
There was mist, wasn't there?
Oh, it's missed. And I heard that if you drilled slowly with a certain drill, right?
I see where this goes.
You'd be able to get the mist out. And I was like, the whole thing. The whole thing's gone. But it made it so clean that once Rachel ran in from outside, she went straight into the window.
That hurts when you do. I've done that before. It really hurts.
I literally went like that and bounced off the window.
So she was outside, you were dealing with something out in the garden.
There was a massive thunderstorm coming and I had to put the guinea pigs away and I had to make sure that they were fed and had loads of hay.
Yeah.
And
you were lingering so much that I was like, get your arse in because it's going to really be flashing up big
You thought it'd be a good idea to close the
And I shut my window, went to leave because I was up in the bedroom telling her, went to leave and I had a verdun. I was like, I think she's run into that window. And she had. And you were on the deck. Did you do your
No, I didn't break anything, but I had a bruise from my head.
That's right. Because on that same decking you broke your wrist as well, didn't you? And we went to see Mark King from Level 42 and he signed your cast, didn't he? Rachel, you've been decked. She slipped up on the decking.
I said to them, when they took it off, I said, can you just cut round that bit because that's for my husband, he wants that.
They didn't.
And they went straight through
the
it.
right
I
end.
was like, oh.
Never mind.
I think if you didn't mention it, they'd have probably done it for you. What you did to annoy them beforehand, probably.
I don't think I was even there when you got that cut off, was I?
No, you didn't annoy anyone that day.
I do annoy people. Though. I just try and be funny with them, and some of them think it's funny, and some of them think I'm a dickhead.
Well, we got told off when obviously going to hospitals. Where I came in with you when you had your last pacemaker check.
Oh, that was
hilarious. No, pacemaker operation, and we were the last ones to go down. So we were sitting around all day really, and he comes back and the lady said, right, we've got to check your blood pressure every, I think it was half an hour or something like that. So we're sitting there and he's got this cuff on and we did something really stupid that we can't say online because it was really
No, you can say, I don't care.
Really?
We sent a picture to everyone saying, I'm all right, I'm out of the operation, I'm all right. But we...
I'm missing the punchline here. What happened?
We'll show you the photo.
I was in a gown.
Oh, right. Okay.
And the gown was purposely hitched up slightly so you could see some vegetables.
And the meat.
And I've got like, Simon's all right, everyone. And you could see stuff.
Nice.
And we just posted it to our family. Right?
Family,
I ended up taking my son to school the next day. And one of the teachers, who's my cousin, went, like the photo. It's been everywhere. The photo's been everywhere. Me with nuts hanging out. But we were crying so much.
Wetting ourselves because it was literally like everyone would look at Simon and go, oh yeah, he's okay. And it's just the tiny bit at the bottom of the photo. And everyone's like, oh my God, And we were pissing ourselves so much that we got told off by the nurses because his blood pressure was over.
I wasn't allowed to leave the hospital until my blood pressure was all right. But we were crying so much.
We had to literally sit there like children, like, God,
yeah, but that makes you laugh.
You two need to calm down.
We're like, sorry.
Did they work out what you was laughing at?
I don't think we showed them, did we?
No, we were having a laugh about a lot of things, but that's the one that stood out.
Yeah.
It stood out.
Nice.
Yeah, thanks.
Nice.
Sorry, we've gone to penises when we should have been talking about
how did that happen? It always.
What else are you into, Ron? Ron?
What
is Ron?
Talk about your wife. How'd you meet your wife?
At Nationwide. So we both started
Aww.
on the same day at Nationwide in Raynham.
Right.
And
We had a little mutual bond.
She collect gnomes. Sorry, she collect gnomes, I said.
Yeah, something like that.
Is she taller than you? You're not that short anyway. We just give you abuse.
Thanks. I look shorter on camera.
If you look at this on camera, you're about the same height as me. It must be the legs end that's gone wrong.
Or the room's just doing this.
Yeah, it's a bit wonky in here. But no, she's slightly taller than me.
Oh, right. Okay.
But yeah, we started at Nationwide the same day, and then can't remember how many months after. We actually had our anniversary on Sunday, and that was
wedding anniversary. You're not married, are you?
No, not married.
No.
So
you meet
normal.
first time you met anniversary or going out?
Yeah, that's it.
Right, okay.
I forgot how many years. She'll forget how many years it was as well, so she won't have a go at me. I think it was 7 years on Sunday.
Oh, right, okay.
So yeah, that's our story. It's not the most interesting, I guess. But started working at the same place, same time.
Have you got the one child or two now?
One.
Yeah, I thought you got one. And about 2 years old now. Three, really? Already?
Yeah, she goes to school next year, which is terrifying.
How scary is that?
Yeah.
Oh, bless. Oh, so you've done all the forms and had to...
No, we haven't done that. We don't get them till September.
Oh, right. Okay.
But yeah, that's a scary thought. But she's like a little local celebrity. Like anyone that meets her once, they know her by name.
Oh, bless.
She's one of them kids.
Yeah.
Everyone knows her. But yeah, she's a ball of energy. But absolutely wonderful.
And your daughter?
I thought I was talking about me. But no, she's 3 years old. It's scary to think that she started going nursery full time, and she's going to school next year.
Did she want to go? Because our daughter wanted to go nursery, didn't she?
Oh, she was so
desperate to go to nursery. She loved it so much. That trial day, she cried because it was only half a day.
Yeah, we took her there and she loved it so much. And we were like, right, we've got to go now because they've got to go and have lunch. And she went, I don't want to go. I'm going to stay for lunch.
But she loved school, though. She's amazing at school as well.
I think
girls are different. Girls are different.
But it's funny you should mention about the lunch thing because she only literally started going full time the past couple of weeks. And the way we sold it to her, I think if we said you're going nursery all day, I think the tears would be out. You're going to go have lunch at nursery. It's like, sweet. And she walks out every day and she's got the biggest smile on her face. So she's obviously having a really good time.
Bless her heart.
And did you have to get a little lunch box and everything?
Yeah. She's got a little frozen lunch
What's
box.
she into? Oh, frozen.
Well, she's not actually at the moment. She's into Tangled at the moment. It changes.
We love Tangled.
Tangled's a good film, to be fair.
We love Tangled.
Because our daughter obviously had really long hair. And it was the year she was born. So she was just obsessed with it. And we could tell you the whole film by heart. We literally know word by word.
I don't think we're far off. But it changes. Like she'll obsess over a film.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Every couple of months or so. So it was originally the first one she really truly obsessed over was Night in the Museum.
Oh, really?
Watched that back to front enough times to know things going on.
Remember our son was Secret Life of Pets.
Oh my God. And then the second one came out and he was like,
Secret Life of Pets. He loved it, didn't he?
He did.
Yeah, she seems to be doing a tour of the Disney Princess at the moment. So it was...
that's a nice stage. I love that.
We went to Disney, didn't we? And we watched the Tangled show because our daughter's got hair down to her knees, basically. And they see her after the show, didn't they? And
she
Flynn Rider and thingy. It's not like her to whack the mic, is it?
No, she queued up. That was it. She queued up. She was the last one to say, right, no more now. And she had her Rapunzel outfit on that she had for her birthday. And
Rapunzel started crying, didn't she?
And she's like, oh my God. And I don't think they're normally allowed to obviously kiss you or anything, but Rapunzel kissed her and she had this red lipstick on her face, on her forehead for the whole time then. And she was like, no, Rapunzel kissed me, can't wipe it off. I was like, oh, I'm going to have to because it's been 5 days now and you start to stink.
That's it.
And that Flynn Rider guy really looked like Flynn Rider.
Did,
really looked like him. Yeah.
Oh, I love that.
I think if Violet saw that, I think she'd have kittens, to be fair. She'd absolutely love it. Like, even...
And it hit the chicken!
There we go, way over the
time. That was more stern than I thought it'd be, actually.
That's good. I did try and tip you off. That sounds wrong, but what I meant was I tried to tell you how much
tape
was on it. But I don't know if that is a sexual term. Is it tipping someone off? I don't know. Sorry about that. Sorry.
I forgot where I was now. But yeah, we went to Legoland the other week and they had one of the shows, you go to theme parks, and it was Rapunzel. As soon as she heard that word, like a switch had flipped. Couldn't move.
Really?
But she only heard it at the end, so it kind of only had about a couple minutes left.
Oh, bless
But yeah, she loves her Tangled at the moment, but who knows what the next one will be.
I love that phase when they're into dressing up and girly stuff and Disney, because I get to relive my childhood through her. Like, yes, let's dress up together.
Well, that's the thing is she's very much a bit of both, actually.
It's unbelievable. Honestly, I can't. Will you be co-host? I can't bear the fact that she's like a drum kit the whole time we do this.
Maybe you should get one.
She don't even need a pen. What is it she's writing down?
I know.
She starts clicking it. And I'm just getting it in my ears. And I'm thinking I've got to get rid of that one. Oh, sorry.
But yeah, she's very much, she likes the girly Disney princess stuff, but she also likes some of the stuff I like as well.
Right.
So as I said, if she could go in my car, she'd probably love to do so, but she can't. But she also likes a bit of Star Wars as well.
Brilliant. I love Star Wars.
I know you do.
I went to that World's End. I told you that. You watched it, didn't you? Oh, mate.
Yeah.
Oh, and
you
Disney.
are there. You are there.
Yeah.
You're in a... You're just...
No.
I just can't get my words out.
I'd have some proverbial kids.
Oh, that's right. Did you sit there watch our Star Wars trivia?
Yeah, I did.
Did you get them all right?
No.
Oh, good.
No.
I found out about that question she told me about Obi-Wan.
Yeah.
Did you know what it was about?
No. I knew what I didn't know what the answer was, if that's what you asked.
What did I say it was? Stew something.
Where's he from? Stew?
I think you said Tatooine, didn't you?
John. No, I said Tatooine, but the answer was Stew John.
Yeah.
And he was being interviewed by someone.
Who?
I don't know, but I think his name was John Stewart. I'm making that bit up. Who
was being interviewed? Did you?
I'm sorry, George Lucas.
Yeah. Right.
And they said you've said where every character is, where every character comes from, apart from Obi-Wan. He went, yeah, well, I know where everyone comes from. And he said, what? He comes from Stu John. And he went, are you sure you just haven't mixed my name up? He's gone, no. Yeah. So he basically, the person interviewing him, he just called it Stu John.
So does that make it canon? Because we could have the recount of the scores.
That's very good. Con, you're absolutely right. We might have to revisit.
I think you still lost anyway.
We might have to revisit this. We have to revisit the Star Wars Friends 2 because you've got to do the first 3 episodes. Well, actually, middle 3 episodes.
Well, can I pick my episodes that I want to choose then? You can only ask questions on the first 5 series.
Anyway, moving on. Lovely having you here. Yeah. Anything else you want to chat about? Anything else you want to tell people? Let's talk about how they can get hold of you if they want a mortgage. Any scenarios you want us to talk about? Couples, first-time buyers coming to you and what to expect? Anything like that will help you and your business.
Yeah, so if you want to get hold of me, my phone number is 07979 186 which comes straight through to me. Or you can email me at connor@wppfs.co.uk or go to our website, wppfs.co.uk, and then you'll see everyone in the business. But generally speaking, I will help to the ends of the earth anyone that's got a mortgage or any kind of mortgage need they have. But the reason that I got into it is to help people like me back then who want to get on the housing ladder.
Yeah.
So that's ideally who I'd like to work with, but I'd work with anyone. It doesn't matter. There's a lot of I like looking at the quirky stuff because generally speaking, like once I've done it once, I kind of know how to refer back to it again. But yeah, first time buyers are the pedestal, I guess.
Yeah.
So is there any advice you would give them or anything they could start doing now or anything that like we could possibly do for our children
because I tell you what I did when I was 20. I bought my first house at 20, 21,
Lucky
something
you.
like that. Yeah, but I got a loan out and said it was for a car and used the loan.
Yeah, don't do that.
As deposit.
Don't listen to Simon's advice, please,
and use the loan as a deposit.
Yeah, don't do that.
And yeah, the mortgage company, wasn't too happy about it. That was 30 years ago.
Did the mortgage company?
I think I might have told them. They said, have you got any loans? I said, yeah, I've got a loan out for the deposit.
Connor's sitting there sweating. Yeah. He's like, no.
Well, I'd say that there is actually a lender, Santander, who wouldn't mind in that scenario. Really? As long as you factor in the cost of the loan for the deposit, that'd be all right with it.
This is how old I am. It was the Woolwich.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, he's old, Connor. Don't worry, he's old.
Bet your house was about £4.50 in a pack of Obnobs,
52 grand.
52 grand, jeez.
My house was 52 grand. I sold it a year later for 62 grand.
Nice.
And then I bought another couple of houses.
I
got divorced, right? And when I got divorced, I was looking at houses again.
That's it, yeah.
And I couldn't afford my first house. It had gone up to something like 300 grand.
Yeah.
That's ridiculous.
There you go.
Absolutely ridiculous.
But to answer your question, outside of how cheap you got your first house for, in my opinion, it's never too early to speak to a mortgage advisor to get the ball rolling. Not even necessarily that you're going to go view houses the week after, but to plan that next step. So I've spoken to plenty of people who've gone, I earn this, these are my commitments, how much could I borrow? And then they go and put the deposit in place to make that happen. Or they go, I've got this deposit, want to buy around this, how much can I borrow? And rather than conversations, I speak to people who I could do something tomorrow for, like after the call, let's get a decision in principle and get you onto the housing market. I've got people who I spoke to who just randomly a year or two later go, we've got our deposit now, what do we need to do? But being that touch point all the way through is important because you won't believe the amount of, we call it pub advice in the business, comes out that someone down a pub goes, no, you need to do this or that or the other. Don't believe them unless they're qualified, because there might be a mortgage advisor in your pub, but it's unlikely. But it's about getting it accurate. At the end of the day, not to build a false hope.
Unfortunately, pub advice is no good if that guy got a mortgage 6 months ago. It all changes so quickly.
Of course it does.
Changes so quick.
Well, Connor said earlier on, it will be out of date tomorrow.
Yeah,
Some of the advice
that's just the way it is. Which is why it is important now for this to come out as soon as. So we're going to bring it out on Monday. And if we are bringing it out on Monday, we've got to talk about who's just been on. Kelly Milano, who you know.
Yes.
We had Kelly on Friday from Club Awesome. Very good. She's like a patron saint of.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Of the
she's going to
kangaroo.
be. Definitely going to have at least a bench named after her. At least a bench.
At least a bench.
Multicoloured bench as well. At that, yeah.
Definitely.
No, I think they should erect a statue for her and have it multicoloured with a little
Stick
kangaroo.
a cone on its head. Because I think we spoke about cones on the head, didn't we, on a podcast?
Take down the Thomas Waghorn and put Kelly there instead.
Kelly
Simon
Milano.
didn't know that story. When he moved to, because he was obviously a Northfleet born and bred kind of boy,
Nice.
and when he come into Medway, he didn't know.
He didn't know about
He
wagons.
didn't know about it, so I had to educate him in the way of Chatham and the statue of Chatham.
How long did that take? 5 minutes?
Oh, yeah.
It's a statue, it's got a cone on it.
And then I showed him, he went, yeah, but it doesn't. I went, oh,
This
oh
is the
my God.
education. I've driven past it. Why has it got a cone on its head? Always has. All right, fair enough.
Yeah, I don't know who does it. I mean, if you are that person that puts a cone on his head, I salute
hilarious.
you.
I think it's the whole community does it.
Yeah.
Oh, it
I
must
think
be.
everyone feels responsible to put that
I've
back on its
seen
head.
him at Christmas with the cone and a Christmas hat on top of the cone.
It's impressive, isn't it? Like, I mean, I'm not climbing up there.
Well, we know you won't go up there.
No,
It's like,
exactly.
like bloody,
Need a few ladders.
it's like K2 to you.
Sorry.
Right, so
I've got another question for you. Have you ever told someone no? Have you ever said no to someone when they've asked for a mortgage? Have you ever
Not really.
got as far as gone, I really can't help this person, can't deal with it?
Generally speaking, no, there's always, and as I said, if it's not something we do there and then, later down
you're
the
giving
line,
them
generally
advice
comes up.
what to do and
Yeah.
for the
And then
future.
come
It's
back.
like, see us in 6 months or something.
Yeah,
you know.
exactly.
Do this and see us in 6 months.
Pretty much.
Or have you sort of ever got sort of someone's statements and gone, oh my God, how are you affording this? Or how are you doing this?
Got to be
Or how-
careful what he says.
Yeah,
Rach.
I'm not answering that one.
Oh.
Blimey.
I was just wondering.
He's brought some with him. Show us.
Yeah, look.
What else was I going to say? So, and this Friday is
Oh, yes.
Daisy.
Oh, date, yes.
Ah, okay.
Yeah.
And we
from-
saw her the other day, didn't we?
Yeah. And what's Daisy's business? Connor, testing you.
She does workplace safety.
And what's the
safety.
company's name?
WPS.
Ah, well done.
Well done.
Because
'Cause
that's
Simon
really
doesn't
too
know
close to
what.
yours for me to remember. Look, we're talking one letter. That messes me right up.
Got ya. Right, okay, yeah. fair
And
enough.
Daisy has also been on X Factor, isn't she? X Factor? Yeah, it was
Yes,
X Factor. It wasn't Britain's Got Talent, was
No.
it? So she's a singer as well. And she's got her own Dream Academy, which is like a kids performing arts type thing. That's a good one for Friday. Connor, excuse me, I'm just getting so emotional about
It's
this
all right.
podcast. Do you want to, it's up to you, would you like to give updates every now and then to this podcast, or mortgage updates, or not?
Wow, you put me on the spot there. I mean,
You don't have to. You can
come
just
in
like,
every
well, like I
6
say,
months
every
or-
Monday's podcast is an up to date thing. You can just send us them and we can read them out and say Connor from WPP.
I think that'd be useful. We'll, see how it works and go from there.
Okay, it's entirely up to you.
Yeah.
All right,
No
do that
pressure.
on the actual podcast. So just to make him feel that a little bit more awkward.
Pressure.
Yeah.
Look at him.
That goes out to all 50,000. Yeah. If it doesn't happen, I'm sorry. I got told no.
Oh dear. Yeah, Connor didn't. Connor didn't come back about that.
Yeah.
But Star Wars quiz, yes.
Yeah. It'd be straight in on the old Star Wars quiz.
I don't think I'd have done much better than you. No.
Really?
I would have actually, because I was screaming at the iPad about where Ray comes from.
The thing is, I knew about it. It's Jakku, isn't it?
Jakku, yeah.
Jakku, yeah. But I was trying to think of Han Solo going, Jakku, you're from Jakku. Okay, that is bad, or something like that.
He has the whole conversation. I'm like, just give me an answer. I don't care
No,
about
I
the
have to
script.
go through it. You're in sanitation. But that's not even the first. That's not the original Fredo, Rachel, and that's what I clearly stated.
If we want to go back and review it, then I get to pick 3 episodes
okay.
of Friends then.
That's it. That's enough of this podcast. Anyway, thanks for coming on.
No problem. Thank you for having me.
Hopefully, you're
you.
still not nervous, are you? Do you think of the 50-odd thousand and worry?
Not really.
Okay, well, that's all right then.
Thinking about you.
Oh, right. I thought, who's there?
The ghost.
One of the 50,000 are there.
Yeah. Okay, fair enough. Well,
thank you so much, Connor.
yeah.
Well, thank you very much
You know
for
where
having
to where to go now if you want a mortgage. Connor's the best one for it. That's what I think anyway. Otherwise, we wouldn't have used him.
Yeah, there we go.
He's our little pocket mortgage advisor.
Pocket mortgage advisor.
Right, thank you very much, everyone, and see you on Friday. I suppose I don't know. Not a clue.
Not a clue. You finished it off with not a clue. Real professional.
This podcast has been brought to you by Snug Dubs Camper Van Hire.
Roam the world, park anywhere.
That's snugdubs.co.uk. This podcast was brought to you today by Austin's Eatery on Station Road, Strood.
Try the Viking Challenge.